Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Oscar Buzz. I have no clue what episode this is, and I honestly couldn't care. But my name is Trevor, and I'm here, as always, with my co-host, Thomas. Thomas, how are you doing?
As always, I'm doing good, doing good. Very excited to talk about Oscars. As always, I feel like I've commandeered your channel. I'm on everything now, which
You
is a
are.
good, which is a good
It
thing.
is. It is. Um, yeah, there's a reason. If I didn't want you here, you wouldn't be here. So,
Yeah, yeah.
there's a reason you're still around.
Give me another
Um,
2 episodes, I'll be off. You see the back of me.
that's fair. Yeah, been just focusing on podcast stuff. It's been what I've had the time for. It's what I've been
Yeah,
enjoying the most. Just
yeah.
doing Oscars podcasts. So it's a fun time. So yeah, we'll kick off the show with new releases. We both unfortunately did not get to see The Last Duel. Maybe next weekend I'll have seen it.
Maybe, maybe,
Maybe next
maybe.
week.
There's a
Maybe.
lot of stuff coming out next week, so
Yeah, got Dune, French Dispatch, Electric Life of Lewis Wayne, Ron's Gone Wrong, Harder They Fall, lots of stuff.
yes.
Um,
Dear Evan
but we'll
Hansen
definitely
from
be
the
talking
UK,
Dune.
but
Yeah, we'll definitely be talking Dune,
yes, we will.
100%. And then the masterpiece that is going to be the French Dispatch.
Right. Yeah.
Because Wes Anderson is perfect, and you cannot convince me otherwise. So,
Mhm.
I did see Halloween Kills.
Go ahead.
Boo. Yeah. So this was terrible, like obnoxiously bad.
Okay.
Like this is just a really bad film. It's it's just bad. Like it felt like a fan fiction film. Like it had all of the tonal problems of that. It just felt like, oh, hey, Michael Myers is here, and literally everybody who appeared in any second of any previous Halloween movie, even the ones that we aren't calling canon, like Halloween 2 and Halloween 3, is just here.
Okay.
Like literally everybody. Like it's like it felt like a fan fiction. Like we're gonna bring everybody back, and Michael Myers is gonna do some cool kills. And then Laurie Strode just isn't in the movie for any reason. Like she's just like is literally sitting on like a bed the entire movie. She does absolutely nothing. I, it's a horrible movie. Easily one of the worst of the year. So yeah, no Oscars probably. Hopefully.
No.
Jesus. Pray. The, like yeah. I did watch some other Oscar eligible like potential contenders this week. Did you watch any other 2021 movies this week? I know you said you were a little busy.
I don't believe I did actually. No, I don't think so. But yeah, I am getting around to quite a few next week. So but
Yeah.
not this week. Not this week.
So I caught up with The Courier with Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah.
It's just a very basic, unsung war hero movie about the Cold War. Cumberbatch is good in it. Like, if he didn't have like 10 other movies coming out this year, I could see him like maybe getting some hype for like Golden Globes or like BAFTA. But because he also has The Electric Life of Lewis Wayne and that movie called The Power of the Dog coming out,
Yes.
I don't think this will get anything. But it's a fun little movie. It's like Bridge of Spies, except like um not as good, but like it's still good. Uh
Nice.
it's still fun. And then the other thing I watched was Together, indie comedy out of Sundance, with Ed Helms, and I always forget the female lead, but she was also very good. It was a first time director, and it's just a really really fun like heartwarming like dramedy that explores like platonic relationships in a really interesting way. And then also my favorite part was when they made fun of Woody Allen movies for being about older men dating younger women, which is what this kind of looked like it was going to be.
Right.
But it like just turned into like more of a platonic relationship, and it was really fun to see how they explored that, because you never see that explored on film unless it's like a coming of age movie. Like, you don't see movies about like friendships between adults that are the opposite
No,
sex. So
no.
it was really fun. I really liked it. But maybe Golden Globes or indie spirits, like Golden Globes comedy musical is possible,
Mm.
because they aren't being televised this year, so like they could go crazy with it.
Yeah.
But I think indie spirit is definitely possible in Gotham
Was Ed
Awards.
Helms good in it? Because I'm convinced I've never seen Ed Helms in a role that I thought, yeah, he was good in that film.
He's a little annoying, but I
Okay,
think that he was good enough. I mean, he
right.
does awkward comedy. Like,
Yeah.
it's like he's he's good in it. I would say that the female lead, I don't know why I can never remember her name. Um, but I think that she was better in it.
Okay.
Um, I kind of hope it kind of reminded me, as far as like just like what it felt like it was going to do. Weirdly, Patty Harrison is her name. Also, Tig
Okay.
Notaro's in here, which is fun. Um, but Patty Harrison, like, I kind of hope this is like Palm Springs, because it's like, established comedy actor Andy Samberg at Helms, and then newcomer Kristen Milioti, Patty Harrison, um, with like a newcomer director. I believe Palm Springs was a newcomer director, and just like a fun like indie festival comedy. So I don't know. It isn't picking up the same like buzz and hype that Palm Springs was.
Mm.
But maybe it slips into some Golden Globes, which I would be happy to see.
Yeah. Nice.
All right, let's talk about some news,
Yes.
and then we got lots of trailers.
Yes, we do have a lot of trailers to talk about, but yeah, let's not overlook the news that we've got this week.
All right, so we talked about the last duel. So it's certified fresh. It's certified fresh. It's got like an 87 or 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. Like, it's doing very well. But it bombed at the box office. We contributed to that. Um,
Yeah.
it did terrible. Like, it barely made a million.
Mm.
Considering the budget, like,
Yeah.
oof, oof, that's not great.
Mm.
Um, so its critical reception is picking up, but the complete lack of support in the box office. How do you think all of this fares for its Oscar chances?
So I've always been a bit skeptical on its Oscar chances anyway, even with the certified fresh rating. I still don't think it stands much of a shot. I think the problem was why it failed at the box office is because you'd expect it not to. I mean, it's Ridley Scott, it's got a pretty stacked cast, but I looked at the runtime and I thought that's quite long for like one of these historical dramas. They do tend to be long, but even I thought, yeah, that's a bit too long.
Yeah,
And I can see why it failed at the box office. I really can. But I don't think it hurts its chances too much, because it's usually weirdly after the Oscars that these sorts of films, pick up traction in terms of box office because they get the acclaim from the Oscars, then they get the box office rather than the other way around. There are obviously a lot of cases where they get the box office, then they get the Oscar acclaim, but it does sometimes be the other way around. So I don't know if this does get awards and that maybe propels the box office somewhat, but I still don't think this has much of a chance at getting Oscars.
like, if anything, it's gonna get the basic historical things: production design and
Mm,
costumes. I don't think it's not happening above the line. Sorry, everybody.
mm,
It's not gonna happen above the line. Like, Jodie Comer, like, so we're also gonna bring up, like, so she's going to be honored with the Variety Outstanding Achievement Award for The Last Duel. Um, but I don't see her getting nominated. It's so stacked, especially with a trailer we're gonna talk about later today. Like,
mm.
actress is just too full. It's too full. They should have gone supporting. And who knows, maybe the Oscars will pull a Lakeith. But I I don't see this happening in anything except costumes and production design.
Mm.
I just it's hard for me to imagine. Um, but I guess maybe I just, yeah. like you were saying, I think the box office and critics reception is kind of balancing it out. But yeah, I was skeptical to begin with, and the fact that this is really lacking public support,
Mm.
I don't think it gets much. I think the Golden Globes will love it though. I don't know why. They'll
You
probably
think the
like
Golden
nominate
Globes
it
will love
for
everything, Trevor?
because they're stupid. So honestly though, like I think that the Golden Globes will the Golden Globes are just like, hey, that was a movie, should probably award it. Like if you're a movie and you come out and you have some kind of acclaim, the Golden Globes are going to be like, yeah, maybe we should nominate it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Dear Evan Hansen, some people like the play. Let's give it Best Picture, Comedy, or Musical because we all know that's going to happen, and we all know I'm going to be very mad.
Yes. Yeah.
We all know that this is good. Like, it's just they nominated freaking music last year.
Yeah.
Music by Sia.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they understood something profound about that film. There, us petty film critics could never hope to understand about the film. Maybe they just got it in a way that we didn't.
No, the Golden Globes are just
Okay.
stupid.
Yeah,
They
all
don't
that, all that.
understand movies. Maybe they'll redeem themselves. Hey,
Maybe.
Golden Globes, if you, I'm gonna bribe because obviously all the Golden Globes,
Yeah,
like
they
voters are
love
watching right
flies.
now.
Yeah.
So if you nominate Shiva Baby for Best Picture, Comedy or Musical, it's gonna be easier to get in than drama.
Mm,
You could call it a comedy. If you put in Shiva
yeah.
Baby for Best Comedy or Musical, I will forever praise you. I will never say anything bad about you again. I have so much influence right now.
Mm,
Like,
yeah.
if you give, just do it.
Yeah. I
Just
mean,
throw it
us
out there.
calling them stupid earlier. That's really won them over.
Yeah, yeah.
But no. Yeah.
I'm saying I won't do it again if
Oh
they
right.
do what
Okay.
I want.
Okay. But they didn't switch off after we called them all big dummies.
Moving on.
No.
Uh, okay. So no, I'm going to save Thomas. I'm going to save the story that I'm highlighting till when we talk about the trailer.
Okay.
Um,
That makes sense.
so Brazil. Yeah, I'm going to just call everything's stupid. So remember Spain? Everybody remember Spain. Remember how dumb Spain was? How they decided not to nominate Parallel Mothers,
Mm,
which was probably going to win.
yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, I would hope so. It happened 2 weeks ago, and like you're not a goldfish, so
No,
um,
that's true.
that I know of yet.
Yes. Yeah. Who knows? I might be like Luca. You know. I mean, there's you've never seen me in contact with water, so
That's very true.
yeah, it's like you've never seen a picture of Batman and me together. So who knows?
I mean, I'm not Spider-Man, obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
uh,
That might be just a suit behind you.
maybe this is me. Maybe I just revealed myself. This is just the suit I wear.
Yes.
It's literally the size of me. So, um, but we went so off track. Uh, anyways, countries being dumb. So Brazil, they did it again. So I remember like there was I wasn't alive yet, but they decided not to submit City of God. I know when that came out.
Mm,
Um, so after Parallel Mothers was snubbed, I was like, okay, well maybe this Brazilian movie Seven Prisoners might be able to get in because like it was very well liked by like Oscars predictors and Oscar pundits. Critics loved it. Um, and they just didn't submit it.
yeah.
I don't. What's this movie called? D-
Deserto.
There's no
Yeah.
particular. What? How is France the only smart one in the international feature race? How did we get to this point?
Yeah.
France is supposed to be the one that makes dumb choices.
Mm,
Why is France the only smart one?
yeah. Yeah. It is interesting. It is interesting that I didn't have it nominated for Best Foreign Language anyway. If you check back at our Oscars prediction video, subtle plug there. I didn't have it predicted there anyway, but I still did. I had at least heard of Seven Prisoners. I have not even heard of Deserto particular, which is
Right.
not a good sign.
Yeah, same thing with Spain's submission.
Hmm.
I've already forgotten what it was. Like, everybody
No.
knew Parallel Mothers. It was winning awards at festivals, and I I yeah, that's just really why what this like I guess we're just gonna give worst person in the world the Oscar.
Mm.
Like every single contender is being shot down. Like I don't know, maybe Denmark just won't nominate Flea. I don't know. I don't like I think those are like the two.
Mm.
Like
Yeah.
because I don't see Titan winning. Like even though I'm happy that France like actually picked, they went out there this time. They didn't just go with the safe pick. Like it still isn't going to win. I don't even feel confident in a nomination from Titan if I'm being completely honest.
Mm. Okay.
But maybe now
Yeah.
that literally every single other movie that I had on my potential nominees list is not getting nominated or not even getting submitted. So yeah, oof. Speaking of international feature submissions, this is just kind of a fun one. Lamb, A24 film, has been submitted for the Oscar for Best International Feature by Iceland. Cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Why not? I
Yeah.
love A24. This is fun. Who knows? Maybe with this year it gets in. Like I from what I've been hearing, like reading from reviews, it isn't as much of a horror movie. It's more just like a melodrama about family with some like scary aspects. A24
Okay.
did the thing like where they um like market a movie as a horror movie and then it's not. Because they just kind of market everything as a horror movie, and then some of them actually are, and then some of them aren't. Um,
Yeah.
but like, because like The Green Knight was kind of marketed as a horror movie
Yeah. Yeah. I guess in a way I'd agree with that.
with like the trailers and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I guess Lamb, like, there's still some scarier elements, but it's more just like a really, really impactful drama about like family and stuff. So I don't know.
Nice.
Critics have been really loving it. Maybe this gets on the short list.
Mm.
I I'm not even gonna try and predict international feature anymore. It's uh,
Yeah.
uh, let's see. Okay, so remember how we said the Golden Globes are coming back?
We did.
So so the Critics' Choice Awards, so they were going to take the spot of the Golden Globes. And they're gonna get like the big TV deal now, which is cool, right?
Yeah.
We have like our new Golden Globes. Well, now the Golden Globes are like, no, 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 that's still our spot. So now they're going to happen at the exact same time. The nominees and the ceremony for the Golden Globes and the Critics' Choice Awards are going to happen at the same time.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I think this is actually good for the Golden Globes because let's get rid of them. Like, in all honesty, and it sounds like a good idea on paper. Oh, Golden Globes are pushing competition with the Critics' Choice. Actually, it's going to be them who's buried since
Yeah,
Critics' Choice is getting the big TV spot. Who's going to be caring about some online, online results, or whatever? I mean,
I mean me.
we obviously
Yeah,
talk about them, but I'm talking mainstream appeal. The general public, they're going to watch the Critics' Choice because it's on TV. They're not going to keep up to date with the Golden Globes. So it's
yeah.
it's it's not a bad thing.
No, no, this is gonna bury the Golden Globes, which is again a good thing. Um, so yeah, we'll be talking about both of them. We'll have to do
Yeah,
probably 2 videos in a day for both of those things.
yeah,
Because we'll be reacting to all of the stuff,
all of the stuff.
all of the stuff, including Thursday, Gotham, Gotham Awards noms.
Yes.
Exciting, exciting. I don't know
Yep.
if we'll do it on Thursday, but we're definitely reacting to those.
Yes.
Um, yeah. I would have done it for an award ceremony that happened. They had their noms But I didn't know it was even happening. And those are the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards. So they do a bunch of different awards, but the big one that we're caring about is Best Documentary Feature. This is the first major precursor to the Oscars. There's also documentary short, but like we can't even watch those. So,
Mm.
but that Best Documentary Feature. So they nominate 12 movies because the Critics' Choice is kind of split it up. They have the Critics' Choice Awards, and then they also have like the Critics' Choice Documentary Awards, which is where they have this, and then they have the Critics' Choice Super Awards, which is where they have like animated feature, and then like best comedy, best sci-fi movie, best action movie, etc. But like animated feature is the big thing there as far as predictors. So they've
Yeah.
kind of split it out. But best documentary feature. So we have the nominees. 12 nominees, and they are Ascension, Attica, Becoming Cousteau, The Crime of the Century, Crime on the Bayou, Flea, Introducing Selma Blair, The Lost Leonardo, My Name is Polly Murray, Procession, The Rescue, and Summer of Soul, or When Revolution Could Not Be Televised. What's not there? The Sparks Brothers and Val.
Yeah, this is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. I mean, a lot of the ones you'd expect to be on there are on there. You know, Flea, Rescue, Summer of Soul.
Right.
But then they were the other two. I think we both did. We both have the same five.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
those were the other two that we both had on our Oscar predictions, and they just weren't there. Which I think does hurt their chances somewhat. There is still a lot of time to build up momentum. You know, the Sparks Brothers and Val, I'd say, are two of the bigger ones,
Yeah.
bigger documentaries in the category. So you know, if they can build up, you know, some more widescreen appeal, get more eyes on it, I can see them building up enough buzz to sort of get in. But yeah, it is very interesting. It is very interesting to see like a prestigious establishment like the Critics' Choice not going for these two.
And there's even more like the Rita Moreno documentary that was supposed to be big, the Roadrunner, the Anthony Bourdain documentary, like a bunch of the Sesame Street documentary, like
Mm.
all of the mainstream documentaries, the ones that actually got big releases, were just ignored except for Summer of Soul, Flea, and The Rescue. So yeah, this is really interesting because like I mean, I would say Rita Moreno and like Anthony Bourdain, like all of those were probably on the fringe anyways, but I think those are probably just done now.
Mm.
Like not being in the 12 here and
Yeah,
already being on the fringe for the Oscar, like they're probably just done. I mean, do you think that this elevates anything? I know the Lost Leonardo has been getting a lot of I've been hearing about that one a lot. My Name is Polly Murray. I know Amazon is campaigning pretty hard. But other than that, I haven't even heard of any of these other ones.
yeah. So again, I'm not too familiar with the documentary categories outside of the big ones. You know, I do think that now, I'd say probably the Rescue. I'm going to go with my prediction to win. Just because of the track record, you know, Free Solo a few years back. I do now have that predicted winning. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting category now, to say the least.
Yeah, like doors are wide open. The other big one is the Velvet Underground, which just came out. I've been seeing a lot of people predict that, and that's nowhere to be found.
Mm, okay.
So it was a big Apple TV release and nothing. So yeah, I mean, this is just one thing. I talked with you throughout the week. Critics' Choice last year went 3 out of 5. They had 12 noms last year, but they missed The Mole Agent and Collective. But what I was saying when I was talking with Thomas is like those were late breakers.
Yeah.
Those came out late and got on the radar late. The Sparks Brothers and Val have been here for a while. Like
Mm,
Sparks Brothers was Sundance, Val was Cannes. So like at Val's been out for 4 months, Sparks Brothers been out the entire year. Like these have been in the public eye for a while. So yeah, really interesting that they missed out. I'm curious to see what happens with the rest of the precursors.
mm.
Because I think Gotham has a documentary category, so we'll get that in 2 days what they decide to go with, and they only nominate 5. So
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I'm assuming. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, go ahead. I wasn't going to say. I was just, yeah,
Uh,
really
um,
interesting to watch them for sure.
but yeah, like I would say, I would assume Flea Summer and Soul and Rescue are getting noms at Gotham. Um, like I feel like those are the big three now.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's very interesting. Any final thoughts on it?
Not really. It's just I think this was a category that I just sort of put in the five big ones that I thought. But yeah, it's probably a good thing that we're getting some of these smaller sort of documentaries getting in to these sorts of categories and potentially now getting more Oscar buzz. I think that is important because the Sparks Brothers, it did have the hand of having Edgar Wright,
Yeah,
there and Val. It's about Val Kilmer. So, these are they're two big documentaries. So it might be interesting to see some of these smaller ones get in.
absolutely. Yeah, I'm shocked. Like I can see Sparks Brothers missing, but like I'm shocked Val didn't get in. It's a movie made by Hollywood about Hollywood.
Yes.
Like that seems a little weird. I still think that like weirdly even if Sparks Brothers doesn't do well at precursors, I still think that it will weirdly get in just because like this was supposed to be Edgar Wright's year. But then Last
Mm,
Night in Soho wasn't as good as people thought, so it's not going to get any nominations.
no.
Um, but like so I could see them like giving him a nomination for Sparks Brothers.
Yeah.
Definitely a possibility. Um, all right, let's talk about Wonka, Billy Wonks. Um, yeah, so Timothy Chalamet, love him.
Mm.
Uh, in the new images for Wonka. Uh, thoughts?
Yeah. I mean, he looks good. He fits the role of
Yep.
this sort of young Willy Wonka. I find it funny that they've just gone. So you've got Gene Hackman as the old one, and then Johnny Depp as a sort of middle-aged one, and now Timothy Chalamet as the young one. I feel that that's a weird progression to go with. Usually, you'd see them get older.
Yeah.
But he fits the part, and I'm excited for the film. I love this whole concept and story of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I'm definitely very interested to see this film.
Yeah, for sure. I hope that it leans into the darkness of it because it's a very dark
Yeah.
um story. Uh, and like everything with the Oompa Loompas,
Mm.
like could definitely lean into some darker stuff. So looking at Oscars potential here. So previously, Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the 1971 movie, got original score, which it lost to Fiddler on the Roof. And then 2005's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory only got costume design, and I'm not sure what that lost to.
Hmm.
Um, do you think this has any Oscar hype? It's coming from Paul King, the director of Paddington and Paddington 2, which I don't think they have any. I mean, his directing
No.
style is basically just like pretending to be Wes Anderson. Let's be honest. Um, uh, I am curious.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it could have some Oscar potential, but in the end, I don't know how much it will have. It's not one of those properties that you'd expect to be very Oscar um, contending. It's just not that sort of IP. And so I don't know. I don't know what the Oscar potential be. I can see it getting production design, costume design, the below the line awards, but in terms of anything above the line, I don't really see it happening for this film.
Yeah, I definitely think that production design is a thing that could happen.
Yeah,
Imagine if Chalamet just goes so hard with this and he gets actor.
that would be fun to see. Would be fun to see.
Thomas, you know who is going to nominate Timothy Chalamet for Best Actor? It's going to be the Golden Globes. They're going to nominate him in Best Actor, Comedy, or Musical because they're the Golden Globes.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Didn't they nominate Dev Patel for
Ooh, they might have done. That sounds like something they would have done.
what was the
David
personal
Copperfield.
history of David Copperfield?
Yeah. That
Yeah,
it seems like something they might have done.
I think they nominated Dev Patel for personal history of David Copperfield.
I mean, he was
If
good in it. He was good in it, to be fair.
but like if they're gonna do that, Timothy Chalamet is happening for Wonka.
Yeah. Yeah.
Such a Golden Globes thing to do. Uh, dummies. All
The
right.
show has become less about the Oscars, more just hating on the Golden Globes.
It's fun. Um, so Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. I love the movie. Probably my favorite animated movie of all time. Won the Oscar Best Animated Feature 2018. Sequel has received the title Across the Spider-Verse. Thoughts on this movie as a whole?
Um, is it still done by Phil Lord and Chris Miller?
They're still producing, yes.
Okay, so then I feel that they make good films. I feel that we've established this now. Um, so yes, I can see this doing just as good as the previous Spider Verse. The title, I mean, it's a title. It's nothing that special.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can definitely see this doing pretty big things in terms of Oscars because the last one did, and as long as you keep the same sort of tone, the same sort of vibe with it, um, and make a good film, I think that even some of the popularity of the first one will propel it to do great things.
So what's really interesting is directing and writing is Kemp Powers, who wrote Soul and One Night in Miami.
Okay, that
So
is, yeah.
I believe he got an Oscar nomination for One Night in Miami. I
Um,
believe. Did that get screenplay?
maybe, maybe I'm gonna go with maybe. It was
It
a
was,
long time ago.
yeah, it was definitely there. Like it was definitely in contention.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, and then Soul obviously won animated feature.
yeah.
So he's 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 in with the Oscars. Like he was
Mm.
definitely there. One Night in Miami definitely got nominated. So he's been working on some pretty critically acclaimed stuff as of late. So yeah, I'm very excited about this, and it definitely seems like the scope is broadening, which just means that they get to do more crazy stuff with animation, which the Oscars loves. So I'm feeling good about this movie. Um, all right, so we got the some stuff with the Gotham Awards. So the competitive nominations, as we've mentioned multiple times, will be announced on Thursday. But we did get news about the Ensemble Tribute Award, which is a non-competitive award, but they pick what they think was the best ensemble of the year and honor it. There's no nominees or anything. So last year, the award was given to The Trial of the Chicago Seven, which ended up winning ensemble at SAG, got a Best Picture nomination. This year it went to The Harder They Fall, which is something that was like a big Oscar. It felt like a big contender earlier in the year, um, but has kind of dropped off. Do you think that this could propel it in any way?
I'm not sure because I had not heard of it really until a couple weeks back when I realized it was done by Regina King. And yeah, it's an interesting film because you've not had much buzz from it. And this could propel it somewhat. I would just like to take this time by saying I don't understand why the Oscars don't have an ensemble award.
Yeah,
It's just one of those awards that why does it not exist? That and like stunts, I guess, would be the other one. Like those are just two awards that they could exist. Why don't they? And yeah, it's interesting to see this film have won. I'm not sure what else would have won. There are probably some June, I've heard, has
Belfast.
got a big ensemble. Belfast as well, yeah. So it is interesting that we've seen this one sort of rise above them. But, it's interesting to see because I don't know how much you'll have outside of like a ensemble awards for the Oscars.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like the cast of this makes sense for an Oscars movie. I mean, it's Regina King behind it, as we said, who was racking up nominations for uh, One Night in Miami last year. Um, so maybe, maybe that's the thing. I mean, you have Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, and granted, Regina King; those are for directing, but still, like that's still like people like award stuff carries over. It doesn't matter
Mm,
what category you're in. Like since Ben Affleck won the Oscar for Good Will Hunting for writing, all of his acting stuff has been immediately like, oh yeah, he's probably an Oscar contender. Even though
mm.
Ben Affleck still has never won an Oscar for acting. But like once you're in that conversation, everything you do is going to be there. But I mean, this cast: Jonathan Majors, Idris Elba, Zazie Beetz, Regina King, Delroy Lindo, Lakeith Stanfield. Like, it's an
Mm.
amazing cast. Cinematography, which I do think is important to point out, is by Sean Bobbitt, who did 12 Years a Slave and Judas and the Black Messiah.
Okay.
And he ended up picking up a nomination for Judas and the Black Messiah, which was his last film before this. So he is like, this has a great team behind it. Could this be a late breaker? Netflix would have to really push it, and they have a lot this year. I feel
Yeah.
like it's kind of lower than I mean, they have The Lost Daughter, Power of the Dog, The Hand of God. Like, they have a lot of stuff.
Mm.
So it's probably lower on their priority list, but it's still definitely there. Like, I don't know. Do you see this as a potential late breaking film?
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Old Dean Bynum, there is no reason this film shouldn't be in Oscar contention if it is good enough. There's no reason it shouldn't be. And yeah, I could definitely see it being late breaker. Problem is, there are also a lot of other sort of films that are coming
Like,
out later in the year.
yeah,
You know, Nightmare Alley, Licorice Pizza, West Side Story. These are all films that are coming out later after festivals that you would also technically class as late breakers. I mean, they're not as
yeah,
obviously like the sort of underrated ones becoming late breakers, but they are still films that later on has built up momentum. So it's a very stacked year as a whole. It's a very stacked year. So
yeah.
you know, but it'll be interesting to see if this does do anything.
Like, this is such a massive year
Yes.
for movies. Um, but yeah, it'll be very, very interesting, and yeah, very excited to see the competitive nominations. Like, who knows? Maybe they'll like throw this into like their best picture or something, since they give it the
Mm.
Ensemble Award. Possible.
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to jump into some trailers?
Yes. Let's talk about the trailers. We got quite a few, didn't we?
Yeah, I got five. Five.
Mm.
Okay, so let's kick it off with the tender part. First of all, Ty Sheridan. Sorry, dude, not a fan. Thomas, thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this. It looks very Oscar baity, but the problem is a lot of these Oscar baity films also attract me. I do like some of these films. Like Green Book, it's very Oscar baity. I enjoyed it. What can I say? But this one, I did see that it's only got 50% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is not great. It also showed us the whole plot, which is again not a great
Not great.
sign. Ben Affleck is obviously going to be, good. But I mean, Christopher Lloyd is in this film, which I did not know, and that was a nice surprise. There were a couple nice surprises we saw in the trailers. I'll get into a few of them later. But Christopher Lloyd being in this film, fun little surprise. Um, George Clooney's track record though isn't great. I just don't think this film would be great that well received as a whole.
No.
All of the signs lead to this film being one of those ones that you feel like it should be good, but then it isn't.
Yeah, this is another one that I would call a late breaking film. That's like, we didn't know if it was coming out this year or not, and it topped into the race. Yeah, okay. So going back to Ty Sheridan, I I think we both did this. We looked through his IMDb
Mm,
page. I don't think he's been good. I don't think he's been good in anything. Like, I just think he's a bad actor.
mm.
Like, I I don't know. I'm not a fan.
Yeah, and he's easy to mix up as well. Like
Yeah,
him, Ansel Elgort, and Miles Teller. I get wrong so many times. I struggle to remember which one's which. Miles Teller, I
yeah,
think, is my favorite. I mean, that's just off the track record of Whiplash and Fantastic, which I like. But you know,
yeah. Well, also just, Ansel Elgort as a person is hard to
yeah, yeah, yeah,
get behind.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, I think that this movie's gonna be really bad. George Clooney, like you said, is spotty. Like, he did The Midnight Sky last year.
mm,
Um, I I like oh, Good Night and Good Luck, what he did.
yeah.
I think
I
that's
was actually
probably
going
the
through
best
his
movie.
filmography. I think he had. I might be wrong about this. I think he had two fresh, maybe three, but the rest of them were rotten.
Yeah, yeah. So he's not necessarily a great director. It literally just seems like Manchester by the Sea, except worse.
Mm,
Um, and with a different Affleck brother.
yeah,
So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this trailer.
no.
Unfortunately, it's just not a good trailer. Oscars potential, do you think this gets in? Because I think screenplay is unfortunately a possibility.
I think it's a possibility, but I just think the film will be received too poorly to get anything really.
You know who will nominate poorly received films?
Who's that, Trevor? Critics' Choice, BAFTA. Oh, what's the other one? What's the other one?
I was looking for the Golden Globes, Thomas.
Oh,
The
that
Golden
was the
Globes.
one. That was the
Honestly,
one.
though, I know we're making a joke out of it, but like this seems like a Golden Globes movie.
Yeah, yeah, it does.
Like, yeah. All right, let's talk about Bruised coming to Netflix. Halle Berry's directorial debut, I think. Is she directing
Yep,
it?
yep.
Also starring. I think that this is too under the radar to get any attention. But what did you think of the trailer?
Yeah, it just didn't show anything that unique. There wasn't much. It's not like there's no like stylistic presence that will allow it to be memorable. It just looks like a very very stereotypical sports film.
Yeah,
I'm sure Halle Berry will be good in it. We've not had any track record of her as a director, but I'm sure if she's wanting to move into this directing field, I'm sure she'll be pretty good at it. But it just didn't show me anything unique. It didn't make me want to watch it.
yeah. I could take or leave this movie again. Netflix could push it, but like we were saying, it's going
Mm,
to be so far down on the list.
yeah.
Um, I don't think it made any festival runs, unless I'm missing something. So like, it has that going against it. Like, I could just see this movie missing all awards entirely, unless it's like incredible.
Mm,
Like, if it's like critically like the best movie of the year, like top 5 movies of the year, then sure. But like, I
mm,
just don't see it getting in otherwise. It
yeah.
just it feels way too hard for this movie to get in. Um, and yeah, just like it seems like a basic sports story. Like it's just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
eh. Uh, but yeah, I gotta getting quite a few first time directors. Like Halle Berry, like could be good. I feel like I haven't seen Halle Berry in anything in a while.
Um, I guess the last thing. Actually, I think that's a good point. I haven't seen her in much recently.
Yeah. Like what was the last movie Halle Berry was in?
Ooh,
Because
that's a good question. Um,
I it
I,
feels like it's been a while.
yeah, there's probably one
Also,
super obvious one we're missing.
do you think that this could pick up any kind of like $1 million baby type stuff? Because that one does picture.
That did, and that was a brilliant film.
Yeah. Oh,
Whether
John
this
Wick
will be,
Chapter 3. Sorry
oh
to
yeah,
cut it.
yeah, yeah.
Forgot about that.
But yeah, Million Dollar Baby was a brilliant film, whereas this one, it sort of just looks okay.
Yeah. Like I was saying, it would have to be great. It would
Mm,
have to be great. And if it is great, it will only get comparisons to $1 Million Baby.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, cool to also see a female led sports film. Don't normally see those. So
mm,
I think it'll be really hard for this to get any kind of
yeah.
attention. So let's talk about next year quick with the Batman.
Mm.
Uh, Matt Reeves' new film, trailer coming out of DC fandom. Do we think this can replicate the success of The Dark Knight?
Yeah, that's my reaction to it. Let me tell you, I think this had a very good shot of getting some form of makeup or hair because Colin
Yeah,
Farrell, that's not Colin Farrell. You could
that
you
is
could
not
tell
Colin
me that
Farrell.
is not him, and I would totally believe you. Um, but yeah, it looked really good. I mean, it looks like the sort of Batman film I want to see. Um, it. I don't like the. There are some parts I don't like. I don't like the Batmobile. I don't really like him being bulletproof or whatever. But overall, what they showed about the sort of aesthetic, I can see it getting. Well, actually, I couldn't see it getting, but I think the cinematography is going to be incredible in this film. I don't
This
think we'll get nominations or whatever for it, but
no,
it does from everything they showed in the trailer. It looks incredible.
this movie will look gorgeous on 4K.
Yeah, yeah,
Like gorgeous. Um, yeah, I my worry with it is that it will just like I hope that Matt Reeves can balance the tone
mm,
because I could very easily see this having lots of tonal issues. Like it just being like I'm a dark, gritty Batman movie, and that's all I am.
mm,
Because I want Batman to be dark and gritty, but like if that's just the entire movie, I don't think that works. And I think like the Dark Knight trilogy balances that very well.
Yeah,
It toes
yeah,
the line between being like dark, and it's still keeping the dark aesthetic, but not overwhelming you with just beating you over the head. Like we're a gritty movie.
mm, yeah,
Um, so like I hope that that can pull it off well. But yeah, I mean, this will probably get like visual effects, makeup, and hair.
yeah.
Like, do we think do we think this has any shot at acting awards potentially for a man named Colin Farrell and supporting actor?
Yeah, he's the only one. I think we barely saw any of Paul Dano. If he is incredible, if he is Joker level, Heath Ledger level, he could maybe do something. But we haven't seen any of him yet, so there's not really anything to say about him. Robert Pattinson isn't getting into acting. No matter how good he is, he's not getting in. And yeah,
Twilight boy.
Colin Farrell, he could very well get in. If we see Jared Leto this year and his performance is okay, but he gets in exclusively for the makeup and transformation, maybe that's a sign that Colin Farrell could do the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's something to consider. If this is good to the level of The Dark Knight, does this get in the picture? Because like The Dark Knight would have gotten into Best Picture if there were 10 nominees. That's the reason that they made it 10 nominees.
Hmm.
Because like if this can put together a haul of like picture, supporting actor, it gets cinematography, makeup and hair, and visual effects.
Yeah,
I would say that Best Picture nomination is justified.
yeah, yeah. I'd obviously be very happy to see a film like The Batman get the Best Picture nomination as well. It's just it would make me happy. So yeah, I definitely whether it will happen, but I'd be excited if it did.
Yeah, I think it's possible. Like if the quality of film is there, if in living up to The Dark Knight is hard, but if it is able to do that,
It's only hard. It's not nearly impossible to live up to the reputation of the Dark Knight.
yeah, I if it happens,
If it happens, it happens, and I'd be very, very happy.
yeah. Uh, okay, so we've been talking a lot about Netflix stuff, so let's talk about The Lost Daughter, another actress turned director with Maggie Gyllenhaal, starring Olivia Colman, Dakota Johnson, Jesse Buckley. This movie looks great.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
what are your first takeaways?
So my first takeaways are obviously Olivia Colman. Yeah, she's probably going to be incredible. I currently have her down for a Best Actress nomination. The trailer, I loved how it showed, like, it didn't show very much at all, but it kept you very intrigued. Like, I really want to see this movie now. And it's largely down to this trailer. Obviously, there are some external factors like Olivia Colman. Obviously, the cast has been uh, described as incredible. But now, because of the trailer, I really want to see the film. Greece looks very nice, I will say. And I did really enjoy this trailer. Dakota Johnson, it looks a lot different than
Yeah.
we've seen her in films in the past. But yeah, very good trailer. Very good trailer.
Our second psychological thriller taking place on a beach this year.
Yes.
But with a director starting with an M, so many connections.
So many
Um,
connections.
gonna make it work. It's dealing with age. Like
Oh yeah, yeah.
I I've got
It's
it.
based
I've
on a
got it.
book,
Yeah, based on
mate.
that's
They're the
my
same movie.
movie. Except for one of them actually has good actors.
Oh,
So
yeah. Yeah. There were some good actors in.
Alex Wolff was good.
Rufus Sewell went to my school.
Yeah,
He
Professor
did.
Alex Wolff I thought was good.
Yeah. Yeah, that's our schools. We've got two claim to fame. You've got Rufus Sewell and Finn Whitehead. And that's why we've got a Dunkirk poster in our school canteen. Just a massive, the one with the close up of his face on. Just he's the successful one. Look up to him.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I'm in Illinois, so all this stuff is like with like Chicago. So we have
Hmm.
like we have movies, famous movies taking place here, like Home Alone and Halloween.
Yeah,
Um, but I don't know if there's any like major. I'd have to look and see if there's any major actors. Roger Ebert grew up around where I'm from.
Yeah,
So that's
yeah.
fun. But yeah, I'd have to look at actors. That's funny about Finn Whitehead though. But yeah. So I think that is this a cinematography movie?
It could very well be. It could very well be. I think cinematography. We've been saying it over and over again. All the categories seem
Yeah.
stacked, but cinematography, it's stacked. There's a lot that could get into this category. So I can see this one just being skirting on the edge.
Yeah. But it looks very good.
It does
Like
look
the
very good.
cinematography. I don't think Maggie Gyllenhaal is happening for director,
No.
but I think that this movie probably gets actors and screenplay pretty easily for Coleman, and then Gyllenhaal getting a screenplay. Other than that, I don't know. I think cinematography is like the only below the line thing, unless it does some crazy stuff with sound.
Yeah, actually the soundtrack they played was interesting, and I did enjoy it. I liked the sort of music they were playing in the back of this.
Yeah, so maybe that's a thing.
Maybe.
Um, does this have a chance at picture?
If they can get Olivia Colman in actress and maybe either Dakota Johnson or Jessie Buckley, presumably Dakota Johnson in supporting, and they get a screenplay, I could see this very easy getting into Best Picture.
Yeah,
But they would
especially with
need, I think they would need all three. I don't think a screenplay and actress nomination. I don't know if that will be enough.
now if it gets into cinematography, even if it doesn't get
Yeah,
supporting actors, if it gets cinematography screenplay actors, I still think it's in.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, you know what's so sad about this year is that there's gonna be so many great movies that just won't get nominated because
Mm.
it is. We're gonna say it again. So stacked.
Yeah.
There are like probably 30 or 40 movies that could like. I'm gonna say like there's probably 30 movies that in a regular year could get into Best Picture this year.
Yeah.
Like that's a lot of movies.
Mm. That is a lot.
Um, like yeah, this is gonna be an insane Oscar season. Like I Belfast is in front right now. I don't for now I'm predicting it. I don't think it's gonna stay up front. Um,
No, I
there's
think
so
yeah,
much.
there's still so much to come out that could, including one which we'll be talking about next.
Yeah, you want to jump right into it?
Yeah,
Being the Ricardos, Aaron Sorkin's new movie. It's coming out this year, December
I, I
10th.
yeah, I believe someone
Theaters.
said that it's probably going to come out this year. Who would that be?
Maybe I don't know. I think it was
Oh, I
Finn
love it.
Whitehead talking
Yeah,
about it the other day.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, Being the Ricardos is coming out December 10th in theaters, December 21st, Amazon Prime. Is Aaron Sorkin going to do it again? Is he going to have a late breaker movie? We don't know if it's coming out this year or not. It skips festivals. It comes out streaming really late, and a bunch of Oscar nominations come.
Yeah, this has a lot going for it. It has a lot going for it. I'd just like to say at the start, another one that when he showed up, I was very happy. J.K. Simmons. I had no idea
Yeah,
he was in this movie going into
also
it.
Clark
J.K.
Gregg.
Simmons. Yeah, yeah. J.K. Simmons makes every movie better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
He's brilliant. And that was just something that I
the
thought.
best performance in La La Land.
Yeah, yeah. Well, maybe not best, but I think performance in that.
He's up there. He's like third build or something like that, or maybe
Yeah.
he's fourth, just behind I can't remember the name of the singer in that.
Mm,
Um, who is that? He's dating Chrissy Teigen. I can't remember his name.
no idea.
Um,
He's also great
anyways,
in
it's,
Whiplash. Watch Whiplash, Trevor.
I know it's. I have. I can. I touched it. I just
I
touched it. I
yeah,
just
I know
touched
you have
Whiplash,
it.
and I haven't watched it. I don't.
Yeah,
That
you
that
need
and
to.
Shawshank Redemption. I
Yeah,
own them, but I haven't seen them,
yes, yeah,
and I need to. I know I
you
do.
do. You most certainly do.
I need to.
But yeah, back to being the Ricardos.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um, it's a Hollywood
so
movie about Hollywood.
yeah, exactly. And Bardem, Kidman both look great. I could see Kidman getting in. I could see Bardem slipping into
Pardon.
that fourth spot we said. I currently do have Leonardo DiCaprio, but if Don't Look Up does flop, I could see Bardem being the fifth one
I
to slip
think
in.
it's going to go supporting. Sorry to interrupt
Oh,
you. I
okay,
think they're going to category fraud him.
okay, right.
I
That okay.
honestly do.
Yeah, if they, yeah, it'll be between him and Andrew Garfield as the
To see
because that
which
is
category fraud will
yeah.
get in.
On the surface, they are very similar movies, being the
Yeah.
Ricardos and the Demi Faye, both looking great on terms of the makeup front, having having an actress they could easily get in, having then a basically best actor but slipping into best supporting actor. These are two very similar films, but I feel
I
this one's going to do a bit better than Ice Demi Faye.
Yeah. So last year when we just had these movies announced, I was
Mm.
even confusing whether like Nicole Kidman and Jessica Chastain who was in which movie. Like
Yeah.
they always felt very similar in my mind. Both are going to be taking place a lot on like TV sets.
Yeah.
Like these movies feel very similar, but one was directed by Michael Showalter,
Mm.
and the other is directed by Aaron Sorkin. I mean, it's a Sorkin screenplay. Like if I didn't have it in my predictions when we did our video because I wasn't confident this was coming out this year. Um, yeah, Sorkin's into screenplay.
Mm.
Why? Because his name is Aaron Sorkin, and he
Yeah.
gets screenplay nominations. And it's gonna be original, right? Original screenplay.
Um, I am not aware. I think I put it in original screenplay.
I think it's original,
Yeah, I think so.
but yeah, I think Kidman gets in. I think Bardem is definitely there. Like, man, what's gonna happen with actors? Like,
We got
we have
a lot.
Stewart,
Yeah.
Chastain, Gaga, and then I don't know if Lady Gaga's even in lock now. I think that she's just in with
Yeah.
the mix with everybody else.
I think the only two are now Chastain and Stewart.
Yeah, I mean we
And then
got
I've
Coleman.
personally got four. No, yes, four. Hang on. Yes, four. So I've got Nicole Kidman, Olivia Colman, Jennifer Hudson, and Lady Gaga. And they, any one of them, any combination of those could get in.
Yeah, I mean, I think they'd have to throw in Frances McDormand too.
Oh, I forgot about Francis McDormand.
I mean, Jodie Comer is still there. I mean,
Yeah.
Rachel Zegler could break late for West Side Story. You have Alana Haim in Licorice Pizza
Mhm.
that could also break late. Like, there's so much.
Mm.
There's so much. It's gonna be oh, the four acting categories are just ridiculous this year. I'd say Best Actor is probably the most locked.
Mm.
Because I think like Will Smith, Denzel, um, like they're definitely in.
Cumberbatch is pretty much it.
Cumberbatch is pretty much in. And then like some combination of like Dinklage, DiCaprio, um,
Joaquin.
Phoenix.
Yeah.
Yeah, will like take that last spot, and like probably Bradley Cooper. Like some combination of those
Mm.
four will take the last spot. But like Will Smith is just probably going to win. Like I feel pretty good about Best Actor.
Yeah.
All of the three other acting categories, I have no freaking clue.
Mm.
Like it's gonna be insane. Uh, like yeah, we're in for a crazy season.
We
But
saw,
yeah,
yeah.
being the Ricardos, like it's a picture contender,
Yeah,
it's a director contender,
it is.
it's a screenplay contender,
It is. It's a big
act
screen contender.
big screenplay contender, actor and supporting actress.
Hmm?
Or sorry, I got that backwards. Supporting
Supporting
actor and
actor.
actress. Yeah, you know what I meant.
Yeah.
Production design is a thing. Makeup and hair is a thing. Costume design is a thing. And Aaron Sorkin revealed that there's four musical numbers,
Mm.
four
Right.
original musical numbers.
Yeah,
So original song is now a thing. Score. I don't. There's so many stuff.
there is a lot of stuff going for this movie, and it's in a great release date. Like it is a great release date for this one. I could see this being a very big contender. If this film is great, I think it's right up there. I think it is right up there for Best Picture.
Yeah, I was just about to say the same thing. Maybe this is the threat to
Yeah,
Belfast. Like, as we knew that there was probably going to be a late breaker that would challenge the festival movie. It's usually a festival movie versus a late release studio movie.
mm.
And this feels like Amazon's, because like Amazon doesn't have that much this year, so they can throw everything into this movie. Like,
Yeah,
really, the only other thing that they have is like Oscar Faradi's A Hero, which they'll just be going for international feature.
yeah. and I assume they're not going to make the mistake of going for Electrical Life of Louis Wayne and pushing
No,
them. I don't think they'll make that mistake.
no, they'll probably push him for like Golden Globes or something because
Yeah. Mm.
because like Cumberbatch. Well, I'm serious though. Cumberbatch could get in with drama for
Yeah.
Power of the Dog, and then comedy musical for Electric Life of Louis Wayne. Because
Yeah.
what did we say when we saw that trailer? It looks like Personal History of David Copperfield.
It does. It does.
So Cumberbatch could get double Golden Globe nom.
Mm. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as Oscars, like Amazon really, as far as a Best Picture contender, they just have Being the Ricardos.
Yeah.
So they can really throw every single bit of campaigning they have into this movie. Plus Aaron Sorkin, like
Mm.
this is a legitimate Best Picture threat.
Yeah.
So lots to look forward to. I cannot wait for this award season.
Yeah.
It's
Man.
gonna be insane.
Things
And
are
we'll be
things
kicking
are
it off.
hotting up. Things are hotting up, to say the least.
Yeah, yeah. And we'll be kicking it off with the Gotham Award nominations. It's gonna be crazy. They aren't too much of a precursor,
Mm.
like aren't too much of a tell, but it's our first major award body nominations. Like I would say that they're in like the top 10 as far as award bodies. So like they're fairly important. They're along the same lines as the Indie Spirit Awards, so lots to look forward to. They do all of the above the line categories, so
Mm.
gonna be interesting. Gonna be interesting. I think it's gonna be insane. They've already given Ensemble to The Harder They Fall, so
Yeah.
gonna be interesting. But that is the show. Thomas, anything that you would like to leave the listeners with?
I'll leave you as a plug. You can go follow me on YouTube at Paymons Pictures, Paimons, and on Letterboxd at just search on my name, Thomas Gladstone, for my opinions on films.
Yes. You can find me on Letterboxd at Trevor Matson. Last name is Matteson. And I won't do it. You can find everything on this channel. I won't plug the channel you're already on. I
Yeah,
remember this time.
you remembered.
But Thomas, do you remember what our outro was?
Keep talking Oscars. Or was it something like that? I don't know.
Buzzing. Keep,
Buzzing.
but was that a thing? Keep
What?
talking Oscars. Keep buzzing. I think you said something about buzzing. Were you saying
Buzzing?
something about buzzing?
I've no clue what you're on about.
I
I don't
must
know.
have heard something last show. I could have swore.
Yeah.
We're gonna run back the tape. You said
Yeah, yeah.
something at the end of the last show.
I did. I did say something. I don't remember what I said,
I can't
which is
remember what it
probably not
wasn't.
good.
Keep talking Oscars, but keep doing that.
Keep
And
doing.
also stay safe, everybody, and goodbye.